quite know what we're doing here other than exploring. But I wonder if that's a hint to something. But that's why we came here incognito. Speaking of smart, you should have been in bed an hour ago.
Victory awaits.
I mean, what's a little bit of lost sleep between friends, am I right? Underlay of rust scratches essentially paint the silhouettes of long erased letters are barely visible. Undoubtedly, in the past, this filthy sign was adorned with the proud name of the bureaucratic heart of the entire Imperium, Adeptus Administratum. Administratum.
A new challenge for me.
The Marcher's Endurance? Before you is a compartment of a massive void ship adapted into a living space. From inside the building, the clinking of glasses and numerous voices can be heard. I see. Or I hear, I guess. So I guess that's where we want to go. Can we get in here? Not yet, at least. Let's go check in the Martyr's Endurance. See what we can learn. Get a bunch of injuries. It'll be fine. Surely it can't be worse than the first fight in this area.
None shall stand in my way.
Oh my, this place has so many colors. Every shade I can imagine is floating in the air.
Colors, you say? Next she'll be asking us to take her on a tavern crawl. Spare me.
Fine. So we're technically on board a ship now. Found some secret goods through the wall somehow. Don't ask me how. Maybe we'll go in as a group. Yeah, that feels smarter. Suspicious prowler? What? You seem sus, sir. Like, no cap, mad sus right now, FR. Stuck to a place of lumps of sawdust, toxic waste that sometimes pass off as ordinary nutritious starch. Ugh.
This explorator is blessed with
Servo-skull anti-gravitic impeller. Interesting.
I'll lay claim to the stars.
Your logic
I
detector.
rise to the occasion.
The menu system for adaptive mechanics looks very similar to the design of internal scan of fuel compartments. Someone has inserted new data into the void ship's cogitator left over from the ancient times. You're going off to bed? Alright, sleep well. Thanks for hanging out as always. This is... you're named. Gordey Skatov, a floppy man in worn clothes, is sighing sadly over a glass of murky booze. Only when he looks up at you do you notice his eyes, large, piercing, and full of sorrow. A stark contrast to his unkempt appearance. Could it be that someone actually wishes to keep me company? Oh no! Allow me to introduce myself. Gordey Skatov, architectural historian. God, you look deeply despondent over something. What happened? Gordey sighs heavily. Here I go again. Pouring my heart out to have you disappear in 10 minutes just like everyone else before you. But alright, here's the story of Gordey, the unluckiest historian in the Imperium. I was born 2 sectors away from here. My family was quite influential, which allowed me to dedicate myself to my great passion, the history of Imperium architecture. Oh my. Okay. I spent a number of years studying every scholarly work there was to find to this art, and then, once I had inherited my family's fortune, I traveled and documented the development of architectural thought on different worlds until one day, oh, that accursed and blessed day, until one day I came into possession of something quite special. Gordey pulls what looks like a book or an album with a homemade leather cover out of his bag. Both the pages and the binding look well worn. Here it is, my undoing. This is an authentic booklet titled Devane's Design, one of the thousands that were printed centuries ago in the times of Footfall's construction. Okay. What a curious read. Please tell us more. Cassia takes a shy step forward. Gordey smiles and shows her some of the faded pages. Why are you interested, Cassia? Footfall's founder, Lord Persimus. Are we gonna get mugged? Is that what's happening? Is he stalling so that we can get pickpocketed? I swear to God, game. I swear to God. Sorry, I swear to the Emperor. To the holy sarcophagus or whatever they do in this world. Footfall's founder, Lord Parsons, was obsessed with his creation's grand future. The booklet describes in detail what Footfall was meant to become upon its completion. Dozens of asteroids turned into glorious palaces and temples, massive bridges spanning the void itself, and the marvelous flying buttresses. That's a word. A buttress? The archivolts of the exterior arches, the elegant arrangement of balusters. And the interior. Polyphorus 10 stories tall and more than a kilometer long. Thankfully they're using metric. Goodness gracious me. Imagine this being Imperial. And, I mean, it would have been par for the course with the chaos, I guess, but whatever. Cyclopean light tubes that catch the light of furibundus and use it to brighten the halls and the hearts of the asteroids. Stained glass windows and mosaics, bas reliefs and statues. Engrossed in his own description, Gordey stands up and starts tracing the outlines of arches and galleries with his hand. Oh boy, he's one of those. Idira blinks sleepily, barely suppressing a yawn, and starts looking around with a bored expression. Alright, keep listening. Emerging from his reverie, he catches himself, blushes slightly, and loudly flops back onto his seat. I apologize, I got carried away, but you must understand how deep an impression this booklet left on me and why my young self picked it up. I simply couldn't think about anything other than Footfall. I was ready to give my life just to see how this incredible station, okay? And of course, no matter how hard my friends and loved ones tried to dissuade me, I still guarded all my savings and set out on a journey. Oh boy. It's no easy feat to cross 2 sectors, especially for a common citizen, albeit one who has some resources at his disposal. I had to change one ship after another, at times being forced to stay on transfer worlds waiting for a vessel headed in the right direction or for warp disturbances to subdue. The voyage took me a total of 107 years. How old are you? In real space-time, of course. For me it was much less than that. Okay, because of the warp. Somewhere in the neighborhood of 30 to 35. And then after all those years, having spent all of my savings, I reached my dream. And what did I see? A dump in the place of an exquisite portico, metal anthills clinging to the columns, the marble tiles pilfered by paupers to use as cladding for their hovels? Gordy hangs his head. It's been a dozen years since I came here, and I still haven't recovered from the shock. And that's why you're out here drinking, I guess? I had suspected that not everything from the booklet would exist in reality, but I never expected to see Footfall in such a sorry state. It's like stumbling upon the horrible decomposing corpse of your beautiful beloved. Oof. I mean, I think you're being a little bit, you know, exaggerating here, but I get it. Argenta's gaze darkens. The warp, like a shameless thief, it's guilty of stealing the short span allotted to his servants. But what sense is there in spending half your life in such an enterprise, only to then lose your spirit and waste the remaining half on nothing at all? Uh-oh. Put down the bolter, Argenta. So then, ink and paper too can lie and cause pain. Cassia sighs sadly. Does this mean that all I have ever read about will one day disappoint me in the ugliness of reality? Oh my god. Compelling cautionary tale. If there was a book on the folly of chasing wild fantasies, you would take up a whole chapter. But is... Oh, sure. You're an architectural historian. Isn't what happened to Footfall not part of his history? Gordy strokes his goatee in thought. Yes. Yes! Footfall's current appearance, slums fused together with the reigns of majestic palaces, is a unique phenomenon. It will be curious to observe if other places have taken after it, thereby solidifying it as a new style of architecture. Oh, I don't know. Or if it still remains a local oddity. My word, you certainly know how to provide an unexpected perspective on things. Give me money. Be that as it may, I just wanted to say thank you for hearing me out. Over a dozen years I have spent on Footfalls, not one person has hung around long enough to listen to my sub-story to the end. It's such a delight to have shared everything that's been waiting on my mind. I'm poor as a church mouse, but I still have something to offer you as a token of my appreciation. Do you now? Thanks for the compliment. No premium, yes. After studying the booklet thoroughly, I discovered something interesting. A ciphered message scattered throughout its pages, taking the form of a riddle, describes certain places of interest on Footfall. I believe it is the work of the booklet's creators. What if these riddles lead to something, a wondrous discovery? I would gladly share what I've been able to learn with you. Knowledge? I take knowledge. Riddles? A flash of burning, almost childish curiosity brightens Cassius' austere countenance. Have you not tried to make this... Try discovery for yourself? I have, of course, but I'm an old man who is blind on one eye and can barely move his leg. I never find anything, but that doesn't mean there's nothing to find. Alright, give me the riddle. The first location from the riddles isn't far from here. It's a bridge that was supposed to go through the center of this district and into the void town of the neighboring asteroid. Only a couple of its spans were built, and even those lie in ruins. Just like the lives of many archaeologists. Still, if the cache survived after all those years, it's there somewhere. Okay. The second location is the lantern of the great cathedral. A lantern is a small tower on top of a dome. Is it though? Isn't a lantern just a thing that holds a light and makes light? You know what? I don't know anything anymore. You've seen Footfall's atrium, haven't you? The whole atrium is just the nave of the former little cathedral. The Legis' entire so-called palace would have fit inside what was meant to be naught but a single room. The great cathedral, had it been built, would have been even bigger, but alas, its construction was just getting underway when Devane died and the work stopped. The lantern from its dome, however, had already been built and survived. It was brought inside of the atrium and dubbed the Chapel of Saint Drusus the Warrior. That's all I know. Wish you luck. Alright, thank you. Wow. carouse. Alright, Abelard, take us away.
Experience? Nothing matters more.
The decadent used to contain a cheap amasek. The decanter used to contain a cheap amasek, which for the sake of attractiveness has obviously been enriched with a deodorizing agent. I think it contained moonshine and something to make it more palatable.
I won't tolerate weakness.
I wonder if that guy would have refused to talk to us if he knew that we were a rogue trader. Hey, Octaviana. Oh, hi, girl. You come here often? The burly woman with a wealth of fiery hair is in the process of tinkering with some unknown device that is clinking melodiously. She has a rough-looking implant in place of her lower jaw. As you approach, the implant begins to move, as if independent of the rest of her face. Welcome to the Adeptus Amasecus, ma'am. What can Octavia get you? Amasec? A potent alcoholic drink of varying quality. So, moonshine. Lou, something more interesting? Octaviana freezes it be. It can't be. Are you Sister Argenta? The Sister Argenta? The one who has the worst scum on football shaking in their boots? The whole station is talking about, and here you are, in the flesh, in all our humble Amasecus. Argenta stops Octavia's torrent of adoration with a calm gesture. No more. I seek retributions against transgressors, not glory for myself. Oh my goodness. Despite her words, you catch a glint in Argenta's eye. You can tell she's enjoying this enraptured attention. Give me a splash of the local hooch. Maybe we talk first. What is this place? Oldest watering hole on football. Folks usually come to the Amasecus for either pleasure or business. May I ask what's brought you here? Oh my! I have some business in the area. Sitting as this bar often puts people in a talkative mood, and I don't see anybody paying me to keep quiet. Valid. Also, don't spill your beans to her. Visits from eminent individuals like yourself. You know who we are? Boost the status of my establishment so I can repay you by sharing what I've overheard. Some of it might help you out in your dealings. Do you know anything about Anvers? She gives you a searching look and then answers in a lowered voice. Maybe I do know something, but let's not shout about it to the whole bar, alright? I'll be here long after you walk out of this bar. And the Anvers respect no agreements, laws, or other gangs. You look at them the wrong way, and you're dead. I mean, they're dead. Anyway, to the point, those Anvers are scum among scum. The most unhinged goons you can find in football. And did I call it football again? Footfall. And even the unhinged goons want nothing to do with them. They have no hierarchy, no territory, nothing. Only a nameless leader who most of the Anverians haven't seen once. This leader sends them leaflets with inspiring messages. Yep, check. Followers are recruited by other followers. The leads try to bring them into line, but it's like this. You can clear out one group, and in the meantime 5 more spring up elsewhere. Is she just pouring hooch out of her bottle like that? Oh, I have no wonder why your patrons get loose with the lips. Like I said, no one knows who the leader is or where the leader operates from. But here's what I've noticed. The most recent Anver leaflets The fresh ones, you can smell the ink of them, always show up in the same area of the Big Slum asteroid. Let me show you where real quick. She uses drops of liquid to draw a basic map right on the bar. Right around here, I'm positively printing the little poem somewhere in this area. Okay. How are things in football? It's never a dull moment. Either someone's getting shot in a square or some rich guy's going on safari to hunt commoners in the shadow quarters. Is that a thing we can do? Sure, the leech makes sure the local shenanigans don't get in the way of business on the station, but what happens on the outskirts adds a little spice to our lives, okay? We make do, but the real trouble is with every passing day it gets harder to find grub. Oh, I heard some horrors are happening in the void outside of Furibundes. That not all ships are making it here, and the Legion's old patrons don't seem to be in a hurry to help. It's taking a toll on Valadim's authority, and if his authority wobbles too hard, he'll have plenty of people lining up to take his place. Okay, so that's good. We're getting some dirt on Vladaeum. His authority is waning because he's not getting food to the people. Alright, give me the latest. This one might interest you. A tale I've heard from a tipsy voidborn from a cargo barge. They exited the warp halfway between Furibundes and the Averio system and came upon a shuttle wreck adrift. The shuttle was registered to the Inevitable Triumph, a merchant ship that disappeared decades ago. That name rings a bell. Have we heard that before? She was bound for footfall, and her cargo holds brimming with valuable goods, but she never made it. If anything at all survived the shipwreck, it could be quite the lucky find. Hold on. Notes, notes, notes. So, let's see. Between Furibundes and Aviores. Registered Inevitable Triumph. Which was also my nickname in college. Bound for football. Okay. Oh, we get it. I don't need to take notes. Thank you, game. It's not a titbit. Titbit? I didn't even misspeak. I thought I misspoke then. Nope, it just straight up says titbit. Some poor sot was here bawling about how his crew tossed out a whole shipment of cargo along with the trash. And it was his fault somehow. He hid the fact, and once they docked at football, he immediately went on the run. No surprise there. Had they discovered his blunder, he would have been executed. I don't know what sort of cargo it was, but the ship he served on usually goes between football and Winterscale's realm. He passes the 100 Dreams crossroads and Langren's belt. If you happen by the area, you might want to look for whatever that idiot chucked overboard. Okay, that'll do for now. Alright, I'll have give me a splash of the local hooch. Octaviana looks at you closely, then takes a bottle from a shelf and uncorks it. The transparent, pungent-smelling liquid quickly fills a glass that sits between you. Pascal's respirator hisses quietly, and he says in an insinuating tone, "The alchemical composition of this substance is known to me, but never before have I come across such an unusual application. An exquisite path of martyrdom in the honor of the Omnisia. Are you telling me it's basically floor cleaner? Take a good look at it. Test check succeeded. The glass contains a liquid that is clearly made from spent promethium. This is moonshine, virtually unfiltered, that quickly blows the drinker off their feet when imbued regularly, and when imbued regularly turns the liver into a bubbling sponge. Is this your attempt to poison me? Pardon me, but you were the one who asked for the local hooch. It's the best homebrew you can get from the tech riffraff on the local lower asteroids. Locally produced high octane number. Is that something you want to say about your hooch? High octane hooch? I'm gonna start using that. Footfall's got no greenhouse or fruit orchards, ma'am. People here get by with what they have. Alright, roll for it. The liquid burns your tongue, then your throat, then your stomach. It takes your breath away, but after a few seconds, warmth spreads through your body and your head feels a little lighter than usual. Octavinia clicks her tongue in approval. Experience gained. Take that, game. That's the second time I've seen a noble drink the octane blend without wincing, but I won't offer you any more. I just got the thing set aside for such an occasion. You know who I am? Octavia grabs a dusty unopened bottle from under the bar and a clean glass. The amber liquid splashes against the crystal walls as she adds in a couple of black pebbles. The soft spicy aroma trickles your nostrils. You said I'm the second person to drink that octane blend without wincing. Caligus Winterscale. Of course, that's right. The head of the house, Winterscale himself, used to come here often. Impressive guy. True. Whenever he and his officers came through the door, the locals would find themselves a hole to hide in. Drinks weren't the only thing his lordship liked knocking back. If someone so much as looked at him funny, he'd paint the walls red. Alright. Bottoms up, chat. The Amasak warms your throat pleasantly. You can make out a hint of spice, the flavor of an oak barrel, and a distinct earthy aroma. You feel a little more at peace, and you reach the bottom of the glass sooner than you'd like. Alright, we're getting hammered, chat. We're getting hammered. Is it a good idea? No, it's not, but I'm doing it anyway. Octavian shows you an empty bottle and makes a helpless gesture. I'm sorry, ma'am, this was the last bottle of that year. What can I say? We're all feeling the brunt of Footfall's shipping problem. Oh, gosh damn it. Right, until next time. Well, we basically emptied out her stash. I'm proud of myself. There was no one here to talk to? Okay. Let's check what's behind door number 1.